For more now, we're joined by Peter Bechtold, who is a professor of political science at Portland State University. Peter, thanks for joining us and welcome back to the show. We spoke about
Happy to be here.
Spoke about this earlier. Despite Syria's agreement to get rid of its chemical weapons stockpile, there was never any agreement for an end to the violence or for peace. Do you think that many in the international community forgot about this, or perhaps hoped that one would lead to the other?
No, I don't think they forgot about it. It is the way in which negotiations often take place. The goal is always to have a comprehensive agreement on everything, including end of the civil war, destruction of weapon systems. But if you cannot get everything, you focus on the part that you can get, and you hope that this will build confidence. And it seems to have worked as far as the government of Syria and some members of the international community are concerned, because the government did agree to have the weapons inspected and destroyed.
Well, where do you think we go from here? Do you think weapons inspectors will be able to do their jobs without violence? What needs to happen here?
Well, it's always difficult to predict the future, but I think the government will cooperate. The question is, will the rebels? I listened very carefully to your setup pieces by the two correspondents, and the kidnapping of workers from such a famous and always neutral organization like the International Committee of the Red Cross indicates that the rebels are in bad shape, because they were hoping that the United States, in addition to the covert aid, would intervene big time by using cruise missiles or something. And now that it is clear that the United States government has decided not to do this, they're trying to introduce a new, what they call a fitna, an explosion event that will trigger international response. And it is likely to be one or several of the rebel groups. There are 31, as I mentioned on the previous broadcast. And nobody seems to have control on the rebel side.
Well, as you mentioned, you're really counting on two sides here, the Syrian government and the opposition, which you just mentioned is splintered in many different factions. Is a ceasefire needed in this situation? Is it even realistic?
Well, the Organization of Chemical Weapons Inspectors has asked for short ceasefires so that the inspectors can go in and work for a number of days, maybe 1 or 2 days, and then go back and then hopefully repeat it until the work is complete. So that would be a step in the right direction, and it would show that somebody has control. But an overall ceasefire is, of course, desirable. I'm personally a little surprised by the strong language of Secretary Kerry. He didn't say what your correspondents said. He said that President Assad has lost legitimacy, but you cannot ask somebody to step down before a conference takes place. You have to have all players there, and that includes Iran, China, Russia. On the other side, the United States, Britain, France, Turkey, Saudi Arabia, Jordan, they all have to be there. The government side has to be there, the rebel side, and the supporters of the government, the supporters of the rebels. And by asking for one party to step down in advance is not realistic. It makes you wonder whether they want the conference to fail or not even to take place.
All right, Peter Bechtold, as always, we appreciate your time and your perspective. Thanks for joining us.